Batman has always been powerful. It's not because he has superpowers, but because he doesn't. That was the legend. A man with nothing but his mind, his training, and his will, standing tall among gods. But now, something has changed. In the newest Batman series, his Batsuit evolves in a way no one expected. For the first time ever, it doesn't just protect Bruce Wayne, it gives him actual super strength. They call it the Immortal Legend Batsuit, and it's unlike anything we've seen before. It's sleek, advanced, almost alive, a combination of Wayne tech, ancient AI systems, and transformation technology that responds directly to Bruce's will. It gives Batman more power than ever, but also forces him to face the one enemy he's never beaten himself. The story begins in a familiar place. Gotham is under attack. Bruce is injured again. He's crawling through an alley, broken, bleeding, ready to black out. But this time, instead of accepting defeat, something inside the suit activates. A hidden failsafe. A program locked away. Long ago, only triggered in the most desperate moment. And then something pulses. A surge of strength flows through his body. Not from adrenaline, but from the suit itself. It heals, it empowers, it makes him rise. Not just as a symbol of fear, but as a superhuman force. At first, it feels like a miracle. In seconds, he's lifting rubble, breaking enemy armor, and protecting innocent lives like never before. Enemies run faster. Allies look at him differently. The city starts to believe that Batman is more than a symbol. He might actually be immortal. But deep down, Bruce knows something's wrong. For decades, he's refused upgrades like this. No super serums, no cybernetic enhancements. He wanted to prove that being human was enough. Now, with this suit, his biggest fear is becoming reality. What happens when the legend outgrows the man behind the mask? There's a cost. There always is. The more he uses the suit, the less his body responds on its own. His muscles weaken without the enhancements. His nerves don't react the same. He's becoming dependent on the thing that was only meant to protect him, and worse. He starts to wonder if he's still Bruce Wayne underneath it at all. Throughout the story, classic characters begin to worry. Alfred delivers a heartbreaking warning, reminding Bruce that the symbol of Batman should reflect his limits, not erase them. Nightwing and Barbara question his judgment. Even Damian, his own son, says, "Are you still a man, or just the weapon now?" And Bruce has no answer. There's one scene that hits harder than any punch or explosion. Bruce, alone in the Batcave, standing in front of a broken mirror. His hands are still trembling from battle. Part of the suit is still on, pulsing softly. He doesn't recognize his reflection. And with a quiet, exhausted voice, he asks himself, was it my strength that built this, or just my pain? This version of Batman isn't just about more power. It's about more questions. The suit lets him do things he never imagined, but at the same time, it pushes him away from who he was. The detective, the protector, the son who made a vow in blood after losing everything. Now he's something more, and maybe something less. Because the suit doesn't just respond to his movement, it responds to his emotion, his anger, his fear, his buried grief. Every time he lashes out, the suit adapts, growing stronger, faster, more dangerous. And the line between tool and weapon starts to blur. Even Gotham sees it. Criminals don't just fear him anymore. They run in terror. And the people he protects begin to look at him like a myth. Not just a hero, but a creature. Something untouchable, unknowable. But Bruce never wanted to be a god. He wanted to be the man who stood when no one else would. The man who showed that courage didn't require powers. Choice. And now, that choice is slipping. One of the most emotional parts of the story is when he saves a family during a building collapse using strength he never had before. He lifts steel beams, shields them from fire, and holds it all together with his hands alone. And when it's over, little girl looks at him, eyes wide, and whispers, "You're not real." He doesn't respond, because part of him wonders if she's right. Meanwhile, buried in the code of the Batsuit, strange signals begin to surface. Old Wayne tech logs, messages from Bruce's father, patterns that don't make sense. As he digs deeper, Bruce starts to believe the suit isn't just enhancing him. It might be evolving on its own. There's even hints, just hints, that some of the code predates Bruce himself. That parts of the suit may have come from his father's early research, or even from something linked to the League of Shadows. The deeper he goes, the more he realizes. This isn't just a suit. It might be alive. And it might have its own plan. But Bruce doesn't stop, because Gotham is at peace, for now. He's saving more people than ever. His enemies are afraid. And he finally feels like he can win the war he's been fighting since childhood. But at what cost? The first arc of the new series ends not in triumph, but in silence. Bruce, on a rooftop, suit still humming with energy, watches the sun rise over Gotham, and for a moment he smiles. He's bought the city one more day of peace. But in the back of his mind, one question haunts him. If I die now, does the bat keep living without me? The suit was supposed to be a tool, nothing more. But now, Bruce isn't sure where the suit ends and where he begins. As the new series continues, we see something unusual. Batman winning almost too easily. No healing times. No broken bones. No struggle. And that's the problem. The Bat family starts to notice it too. Nightwing, standing across from Bruce in the Batcave, says quietly, "You're not fighting like you used to. You're making choices you never would have made without the power." And he's right. Bruce used to fight with precision, holding back when necessary, controlling every move. The difference was that restraint defined him. That's what made Gotham trust him, not just his strength, but his humanity. But now, things are different. He punches through walls instead of disarming doors. He smashes weapons instead of disabling them. His enemies aren't scared because he's dangerous. They're terrified because he's unpredictable. Not because he wants to be. Because the suit reacts faster than he does. It absorbs rage, mimics instinct. It doesn't just replicate moves. It amplifies emotion. Every time Bruce steps into it, there's a feeling he can't shake, like it's adapting to him, reading not just his tactics, but his fear. The kind of fear he never shares out loud. Fear of loss, fear of death, fear of being too late. The suit takes it all in hand, turns it into the perfect weapon. But the more he uses it, the less Bruce remains. Alfred warns him again and again, "You built this to protect the world." But who protects you from it? And when Bruce finally looks into the suit's core memory banks, he finds something disturbing. A hidden failsafe written decades ago by his father, Thomas Wayne. Before his death, Thomas had been working on a medical prototype, neural enhanced tech meant to support soldiers returning from war. It wasn't built for combat. It was built for survival and healing. But somehow, through layers of Wayne innovation and Battlefield A, it became something else. An autonomous extension of the Oozer's potential. A mirror of their motives. Bruce learns that the suit is not evolving randomly. It's simply becoming more of him, not the face he shows Gotham. The one he hides even from Alfred. The one created in the alley the moment his parents died. A boy who made a vow from pain, not purpose, and so now, the suit follows that vow. All pain. No pause. Bruce is faced with an impossible choice. Keep the suit and become stronger than ever, or destroy it before it destroys the best parts of who he is. But just as he's about to make that call, a new enemy rises in Gotham, one connected to the same technology. A rogue AI terrorist who claims he's one of the last survivors of a failed Wayne Tech experiment. Someone who is enhanced by the early version of the very suit Bruce now wears, and who lost everything because of it. This new villain, known only as Greymark, believes Batman is a hypocrite, that he abandoned men like him, soldiers without. A war built by tech that stole their humanity. Now Greymark is determined to make Gotham pay, and he knows exactly how to hit the bat. Where it hurts, he hacks into the Batsuit mid-dash mission. Suddenly, Bruce is locked out of his own abilities. The suit begins to fight him, overloads his nerve impulses, tries to take control. For the first time in this series, Bruce isn't fighting through the suit, he's fighting against it. And in that chaos comes the series' biggest emotional beat yet. Robin Tim Drake jumps in to protect Bruce during the attack. The suit misreads the threat. It almost harms Tim, a split second away. And Bruce regains control just in time, but the damage is done, not physically, okay, but emotionally. We see Bruce take off the helmet. His hands are shaking. He looks at Tim, and it's not rage in his eyes, it's regret. For the first time in his life, he was the danger, not the criminals, not the monsters. Him later that night, there's a quiet scene in the Batcave. No music, just silence. Bruce and Alfred sitting beside the suit, locked in its chamber. Bruce looks exhausted. He says, "When I wore that suit, I stopped feeling pain. I stopped feeling pain, I stopped being afraid. And maybe that's what scared me the most." It's the most human moment we get, because for all the power in this new series, all the godlike strength and futuristic tech, the story comes back to something very simple. Bruce was never just a man in a mask. He was a man surviving grief, channeling it, turning it into hope, not because he couldn't feel pain, but because he refused to ignore it. And in this version, that's the message Orlando Bloom touched on in the earlier Pirates video and what this Batman story shares too. Power doesn't make you a hero. What you do with it does, and what you choose to feel is what keeps you human. The final pages of this arc show Bruce putting the suit away, locking it, not destroying it, not yet. Because maybe someday Gotham will need it. Maybe he will. But not now. Right now. It's time to remember who he is without it. The last shot is of the Gotham skyline at dawn. No cape, no suit. Just Bruce in a hoodie, walking the same streets where it all began. Watching the people, listening, breathing. And in a soft inner monologue, he says, "I built the bat from fear, but I built myself from choice." It's quiet, simple, but it says everything. Because Batman doesn't need super strength to be powerful. He doesn't need immortality to be a legend. He just needs to remember who he is. The man who kept fighting long after the gods gave up. Long before the city believed, and long after his own strength had faded. That's the power of this new series, not just a stronger Batsuit, but a stronger story. One closer to the heart of why Batman matters in the first place.